He's not been an ally. I mean, I think the First Step Act was fine. It was a very kind of small reform that he believes black people are inferior. Like he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings back in the day. But also, when you hear some of the stray comments he makes, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity and is racially determined. So he is a tried and true, like, dyed-in-the-wool racist. Like, in the core of his being, he's a racist. One of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country, and that's Joe Biden. That's who I'm going to be voting for, and I'll be out there supporting him.
What is good, YouTube family? It's Sabora Shop. We back again with the Black Anomaly Rising channel. So I gotta talk to you about John Legend. Okay, so apparently this guy is another Trump deranged leftist. Who knew? Celebrity, totally out of touch with the reality of regular middle class, lower class, and upper middle class people out here being out of touch with their constituents. Who the freak knew? So he's going on this Trump deranged rant about how Trump is a racist. Without further ado, let's get into this nonsense.
One of the things that you hear from Trump's supporters is that he signed the First Step Act in 2018. He's a partner in this effort. What do you say to people who say, "Oh no, he would be an ally. Look what he did in 2018."
He's not been an ally. I mean, I think the First Step Act was fine. It was a very kind of small reform, and to be honest,
what does that mean? Does that like not count, or I mean, does he not get credit because it's Trump that does it? Like, what does that mean?
The reform we need is on the local and state level, because most incarceration is local and state, and most of the laws that end up being criminally enforced are local and state laws. That being said,
well, what do you want Trump to do? Like, what the hell do you want from this man? Nah, seriously, like, John Legend, what do you want from this man? What can Trump do to enforce things on a state and local municipality level, and the city level? What do you want him to do? Like, are you freaking serious with this? Like, he did something at a federal level, which is what a lot of people and presidents promise and a lot of people demand presidents do. He did it. But no, that doesn't count because it's Donald Trump. These people really make me sick, and I seriously mean that.
At the same time, you know, he's claiming credit for those small things. He's also saying, you know, if people are stealing something, they should get shot in the middle of the store.
What does that mean? Does that mean that we're assuming that it's all black people who steal, or?
He protested the killing of George Floyd. He was advocating for the military to shoot us in the streets. He's made it clear throughout.
Wait, hold on a second. So you're talking about people that were actually like the looters who were like burning down police stations, robbing businesses in their own communities, right? You're talking about those people? Or are you talking about the people who went outside with signs, you know, and shirts saying Black Lives Matter? Which people are you talking about, Mr. Legend?
That he believes black people are inferior. Like he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings.
When did
he
say
believes
that?
black people are inferior. Made it clear throughout his life that he believes black people are inferior. Like he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings back in the day. But also,
are they still talking about this Trump Tower thing where it was like his dad owned the building, and they're still trying to blame this on the current day Donald Trump, which, by the way, you don't even know exactly like who was actually in control of any of these decisions. Like you could try to like loosely trace it to the Trump family because they owned, right, the buildings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are responsible for any decisions as it related to, well, nah, we're just not gonna let any black people stay here. Like, how do you even know that? Like, see what I'm saying? It like, how, if he's so racist and thinks black people are so inferior, why would he even have go through with the First Step Act? Why not just say, hey, F the black people? You see what I'm saying? Like, it, guys, how many videos have we done on this channel with all these people supporting Trump? Trump supports them, they support Trump. That's how it's supposed to go. So what's up with this narrative? Like, I don't understand like how this liberal media propaganda was so effective, especially up today. I can see maybe before he got elected or something. But now, especially after you see how Joe Biden was and all the stuff out here about Joe Biden, it's like, what the hell are these people smoking?
When you hear some of the stray comments he makes, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity.
What the hell are you talking about?
And it's racially determined. So he is a tried and true, dyed in the wool racist. Like in the core of his being, he's a racist. So
this dude is literally just saying this based off of him saying, shoot rioters and looters, people who I would argue a lot of them would deserve to be shot okay, imagine they coming for your business in your house. Like, you just gonna let them just come and just take everything that you own, tear everything down. Who knows how long it's gonna, if you got insurance at all, who knows how long it's gonna take you to get through the process of recovery. It's not that simple, folks. Okay, I'm a businessman myself. It's not that simple when somebody just comes and just takes and pillages stuff. You know how long it takes to recover from all of this? And a lot of people can't recover from it. Like, I got a lot of things in place where it's not too bad for me, but a lot of people don't have the type of support and systems in place that I have. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to just say, okay, because somebody says something so simple and something so straightforward, which is basically just standing your ground, which you should be enabled to do, that all of a sudden you're a racist. He thinks that there's a genetic hierarchy. Based off of what, John Legend? What more specifically have you heard that makes you think that there's some sort of genetic hierarchy? Tim Scott's like practically his right-hand man is a black dude. Tim Scott. What are you talking about? Like, you got Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, Larry Elder, Wesley Hunt. That's without going into some of these other people like Candace Owens, Clarence Thomas. Okay, like there's a lot of freaking people out here that are black conservative people. Okay, don't even get started on some of these like lesser known people, like the people like these influencers and content creators and stuff like myself, right? So it's a lot of people who will literally tell you exactly how we feel about it and how we interpret the things that Trump says and things that apparently people like John Legend are interpreting things that Trump hasn't said, but how he feels about Trump. Meanwhile, you got people like Joe Biden making comments like, you ain't black if you don't vote for him. Okay, he's talking about how we're going to be put back in chains if we don't vote for him, and just ridiculous stuff. Okay, supporting segregationists in the past. Kamala Harris called him out about that. I freaking get sick of the hypocrisy with these leftists. I really do get sick of it. It's like, stuff like this, when you see the type of stuff that Joe Biden has said, and then how these people will concoct something in their minds about how deeply, deeply racist somebody is, it's like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you talking about? Like, seriously, what are you talking about? Have you talked to anybody outside of your bubble? Have you tried that? Have you tried a different perspective? Highly doubt it.
But done very little for us. And he is at his core truly a racist. And you even hear what he says about immigration and which countries he wants people to come in from. They all are very white.
Dude, I mean, first off, this dude literally had, like, let's go back to the Muslim ban for a second, what they call the Muslim ban, which was not a Muslim ban. It was very specific countries. A lot of those countries will stand in the name. Yes, a lot of these countries are vitriolic toward America. It's historically documented and has never stopped. Okay, a lot of terroristic affiliation. I never heard Donald Trump say, hey, you can't come from India. You can't come from Japan, right? You can't come from a lot of areas of Africa. Right? He hasn't ever said that. They're trying to say because he said stuff like he doesn't want people coming in from, I guess, certain parts of Haiti and Mexico and Venezuela, that he's like a racist or something. It's like, guys, just because Joe Biden pretends like he's okay with these people coming into the country doesn't mean that he's like a better person or like less racist than Donald Trump. That is completely preposterous.
True. That's something pretty universal about them. So I knew you were active on the campaign trail in 2020. You have a lot on your plate. Are you going to be out there campaigning for Joe Biden this fall?
Yeah, we'll get out there probably later in the year as it gets close to people making decisions about when it's time to vote. I think the choice is very clear. There's a lot been said about age and all these other things. Both of them are old but one of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country, and that's Joe Biden. That's who I'm going to be voting for, and I'll be out there supporting him.
Wow. You damn right, John Legend. He sure has done a lot. Record inflation, record gas prices, record price of groceries. Inflation rate is not a record, but it's pretty dang high. Housing prices certainly are at an all-time record. Never been this high. Okay, record illegal immigration. Joe Biden has set some of the most records out of any president in history. You're right, he has done a lot of harm to black communities with all of these illegal immigrants. As soon as they come into the country, guess where they're being flown and bused to a bunch of impoverished communities, many of them black communities. John Legend doesn't want to talk about that. People like him need to get on a debate stage. Have a real conversation. Don't just get out there and just start campaigning. Like, actually talk to these folks that you swear that you're supporting, that you don't want the racist, like, who do you want? You want the guy who is real about who he is, who's not racist, by the way, Donald Trump, or you want the guy who is racist but pretends like he's not because it helps him get power, or at the very least, racially insensitive. Like, you can say that about both Trump or Biden. They're racially insensitive, but they both said racist things. Oh, Obama is he's the first black articulate person that he's ever seen. Like, this guy is an idiot. I wonder if John Legend's heard all of that, or if he's just gonna probably just brush it off, just not even care. That's what most of these people do. They hear criticism of Joe Biden and they just ignore it. And then they have their stance. Oh, Trump is a racist. Well, what about the First Step Act? Oh, no. That doesn't really count. Like, that doesn't really solve any problems. Like, oh, well, what about giving money to HBCUs? I mean, maybe he kind of did that, but it wasn't that much money. That's how these idiots work. It's never any satisfying them. It's always, well, he's still racist. It doesn't matter if he did stuff directly for black people. Like, literally, those are two things that were specifically catered towards black people. Specifically. Nope, doesn't count. He's still a racist. Like, these people are nuts. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
He hates Mexicans and he hates black people.